Hi digital marketers, this is Faisal Amin. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you how to set up TikTok conversion API for Shopify store, and that is for the server side tracking by using of Google Tag Manager. So let's get started. And in the previous video which I had created part 1, I am set up all of browser side tracking and all event, page view, add to cart, begin checkout and purchase. So in this video I am trying to set up the server side tracking. So for the server side we need to set up the server container first. So now go to the admin section and click the plus sign, and for the server side we have create the container in GTM, so Shopify server, and that will be the server, and create. And here you have to find out the two option. One is automatically provision tagging server and second one is manually provision tagging server. So today I am using the step.io, so I am selecting the manual provision tagging server. So copy the container config code and back to our step.io platform, and you can see that is our TikTok ads event. And in the previous video I am set up all of event, so I recommended you firstly watch the part 1 video, then come back to second one. You know that step.io are providing the first party domain or custom domain to set up the service, so you can use the step.io and also you can use the Google Cloud, but in my case I am using the step.io. So I am create the new container in step.io. Here you can see that in the dashboard you have to find out the create container option. That is my previous one, just I am create the new one. So create container, and container name will be the Shopify, and in the container configure section I am pasting the code which I am copy from the Google Tag Manager server container. And server location, it's up to you. You have to provide it your nearest locations where your business are established. So I am just trying to find out the nearest locations. So I'm pick the Singapore. So create container, and here is the options to your subscription plan, but I am create this container for the tutorial making purpose, so I'm go to the free option and continue with free plan, just back to the SDTM container, and that will be the verifying. It will take some times, and also you have to find out your custom domain name, but that is not the work for you because I'm using the Shopify partner, so I'm pick the domain name. But if you're using the main domain, then you have to set up first party domain or custom domain by using your cPanel. So how to create the first party domain or custom domain, I will give the link on the description box, so you can check out from here and create the first party domain or custom domain for your Shopify domain. So I'm just copy the domain name and back to our Google Tag Manager as browser site. So I am go to my browser container, and here go to tag and new tag configuration, Google Analytics and GA4 tag. And in the configure settings you have to adding the parameter, that is server container URL, and paste the value, but you are also adding the tag ID here. So you can go to Google Analytics 4, that is your Google Analytics 4 interface. So from here you have able to collect the measurement ID. So go to data stream section, and here you have to find out the measurement ID. So I presume that you already know that how to create the Google Analytics 4 for your website. If you do not yet, you can also check it my YouTube channel. Here you have to find out how to create Google Analytics 4 and also how to connect your website with GA4. So copy the measurement ID and back to our Google Tag Manager. Here you have to find out the tag ID. So I am trying to create the constant variable for it, because for the all event I need this tag ID. So again and again I do not copy and paste job. So I am clicking the variable for that. So I am click the plus sign, also click the plus sign, and then variable configuration, find out the constant variable from it and paste the measurement ID which I am copy from the Google Analytics 4, and that is name will be the Google Tag ID. Save it, and you can see that our Google tag ID are attached with our tag ID, and here you have to also adding the another parameter, that is the send page view, and that will be the false, and triggering will be the page view. So giving the tag name, that is Google tag, save it. Now I'm coming to the second one, that is the view content event. So click the new and tag configuration, and that will be the Google Analytics and Google Analytics GA4 event. So I am adding the measurement ID. Already I am created it, that is Google tag ID. And if I am adding the measurement ID, you can see that the green tick mark you have to find out in your right side, and event name will be the view item. Where we find out the view item, you can go to tag assistant, and in the left side that is your all event. So you can copy from it, and also you can write it. So I am adding the view item, and in the event parameter section, we know that for the view item event you need the three parameter. One is currency, second one is value, and third one is item. So already we have created all of variable parameter in our browser site tagging, which is part 1. The link will be the description box. Firstly watch this video, then come back to this tutorial. So I'm adding event parameter. So first one is currency, so we are adding the variable value currency. Second one is value, so we are adding the value DLB value. Third one is items, and we are already create the items, that is commerce items. So we are adding the all variable and adding the more one, that is the event ID. So we are adding the event ID because we need to deduplicate the event. So click the plus sign to do duplication process, and also plus sign, and variable configuration, find out the event ID. We do not find out here event ID, so we are go to the template gallery to find out the event ID. So search on the template, that is the event ID. Here you can see the event ID. So I am adding on it, add to workspace, and also add. You can see the event ID. If you do not find out here, then go to the template gallery. You have to find out the event ID here. So I am adding the event ID, save it. You can see that event ID are attached with our event parameters section. Now time to trigger. So we are adding the trigger. Already we have created the trigger for browser side. The same trigger are work for both browser and server. So we do not again create the new trigger for that, just adding the view item event. So finally giving the tag name, that is GA4 and TikTok SS, that means server side for view item. Save the tag, and we have another work for the browser site, that is we have to adding our event ID for each and every event for the browser site. So we have created the browser site tag for one by one. I am adding the event ID. So first you open the view content, and in the here you can see that for the deduplication configuration I am adding the event ID here. So adding the event ID for view content, save it, and then go to TikTok purchase event and scroll it, find out the event ID for it. Here you can see that event ID. So we are adding the event ID here also, save it, and begin checkout. We are adding the event ID. Here you can see the event ID. So we are adding the event ID, save it. So now add to cart and adding the event ID, save it. So we are done now, and again, and we have another work. Go to admin. We are adding the, so then we are create the second one, that is for the add to cart. So we are go to the shortcut method, that is GA4 TikTok SS view item. So we are adding it, just copy the tag, and that is for the add to cart, and also change the name, that is the that will be the add to cart, and I am also adding the add to cart, and that are all same, just change the trigger, that is for the add to cart, save it. Now go to for the begin checkout event. Again we are open that to cart tag, copy it, and change the tag name, that will be the begin checkout, and also change the event name, that is begin checkout, and change the trigger, that is the begin checkout. Save it. We have created the all of event. Now time to set up the purchase event, that is the most important. So for the purchase event you need to set up more variables. So firstly we are create the variables for purchase event, then come back to the purchase tag. So go to variable and new variable configuration, data layer variable. So where you find out the purchase data layer, you do not find out here in the, you do not find out the purchase event in the tag assistant, but in the first video I will create the purchase event by using of custom pixel in Shopify backend. So you can see that in the console sections you can find out the data layer. So using this data layer you have to set up each and every variable. So you can see that transaction ID. So firstly you pick the e-commerce, then transaction ID. For the tax, firstly pick the e-commerce, then tax. For the shipping, same process, you can pick the e-commerce and shipping. So that are our really important variable for the purchase event for GA4 setup. So we have to firstly set up the each and every variable. Now we are trying to create the variable one by one. So go to our Google Tag Manager and then we have set up the for the transaction ID. So e-commerce dot transaction ID, and that will be the DLB transaction ID. Save it and go to the second one, new variable configuration, data layer variable, and second one is e-commerce dot tax. So we are adding the variable name, that is DLB tax. Our third one is data layer variable, e-commerce is shipping, and that will be the DLB shipping. Save it. And our last one is e-commerce dot coupon, and that will be coupon. Save it. So one by one we have to create each and every event parameter for the purchase event. Now go to the main task. So go to tag and open the begin checkout event and copy the event and just rename the event name, that is for the purchase, and change the event name, that is the purchase, and you can find the event name here, purchase. And we are also adding more parameter which we have created. One is transaction ID, and we are adding the transaction ID here. And our next one is tax, and we are adding the tax here, DLB tax, and also shipping, we are adding the shipping, and that is the coupon. One by one we have to adding the all event parameter. And now time to triggering. We are just adding the purchase trigger here. You can see the purchase and save. Now we go to our server container, and in the admin sections, container settings, in the container settings we have to adding our custom domain or first party domain which we are created in the step.io. So here copy the domain name and back to our Google Tag Manager settings option, we have to paste on it and save it. Now go to text section. We have to create the TikTok pixel conversion API for server side. So new tag configuration. So go to our template gallery and search option and just type TikTok. So we have picked the step.io. So pick it to workspace and add it. So here we have to not adding the event name. We are just selecting the inherit from client. Our client are receiving the all event. What is our client? Google Analytics 4 is our client. So Google Analytics 4 are receiving the all event. And for access token, we are go to our TikTok event manager section, that is our Google event manager sections, and here you can see the overview, test event, and all of event, and you can see that our browser are working, but server we are already set up. So go to the settings option to find out the access token. If you are scroll it, here you can see that in the access token generation, just click on it, your access token are automatically generated. Just copy the code from here and back to our Google Tag Manager section, paste the access token and the TikTok pixel ID, again back to our, that is our TikTok pixel ID. We are copy the ID from here and also back to our container GTM and paste the TikTok ID. Now second one is test event code. So again, back to our event manager and we are find out the test code. So copy the text code here and paste it. And in the generate TTP cookie, if not exist, it will be tick mark, and second one will be the tick mark. And go to the triggering option, plus new trigger configuration, that will be the custom sum event, and we have to find out the built-in variable, which is our client name. Here you can see the client name, and that will be the equals, and here our client is GA4, we already told you, and that is our GA4 client. Save it. Tag name will be the TikTok conversion API. Save it. So we are done all of process. Now time to submit the all container, browser and server. So we have submitted it for browser site and back to our server, and also the submit it, publish it, and back to our workspace. Now we are go to preview from the browser site, continue, and also for the server side, back to workspace and go to the preview. And now our website is open, and you can see that our tag assistant connected with our website. So now time to testing. Open a product page for view content event, add to cart, also checkout. And for the purchase, you know that you have to providing the all user information. After all providing information, just click the pay now button. And here you can see that our all event is working perfectly. But for the purchase event, we do not see you. I already told you that is we are set up on our Shopify backend. So back to our server container preview. Here you can see that we are find out each and every event. If you go to the begin checkout event, and our tag is fired, and if we are go to the request, here you can see the begin checkout 200. That means we are receiving the all data and we are perfectly sending the all data. And view item, we are already see that, and our TikTok conversion API perfectly working. And if you come back to the our TikTok event manager, here you can see that we are find out each and every event. Sometimes purchase event takes some times to receiving the event because we are set up manually in the backend of the Shopify store. So thanks for watching this video. And for the GA4, you know that will take some times to receiving the data because that is my new Google Analytics 4. So finally, we are perfectly set up each and every event for TikTok conversion API, both browser and server. The previous one is first one and the current one is second one. I hope you understand how to set up each and every event for TikTok pixel conversion API. So thanks for watching this video. I will see you next video with a new topic. Thank you. Bye bye.